secret meeting sets off alarms across the political and legal world. The players, Donald Trump's lawyers, and the special counsel. That meeting just wrapped up moments ago. CNN's Caitlin Polantz is outside the federal courthouse here in Washington. Caitlin, what are we learning?
Well, Dana, there is a lot of activity happening today. This meeting that there was a question of whether something like this would happen after Donald Trump received that target letter informing him and his lawyers that he was very likely to be indicted related to the 2020 election and his behavior leading up to and on January 6th. And so this is the sort of meeting that would often be an opportunity for the defense counsel before an indictment would be presented to a grand jury. And so we don't have a full readout, at least here at the courthouse yet, of exactly what's going to emerge.
Donald Trump was secretly recorded admitting damaging facts to his own lawyers, and prosecutors now have the tape. This happened during private legal strategy meetings Trump believed were fully protected by attorney-client privilege. According to prosecutors, the recordings capture Trump discussing classified documents, legal exposure, and defense tactics. These meetings occurred after he left office, while multiple criminal investigations were already underway. Now courts are reviewing whether those conversations lose protection under the crime fraud exception. But here's what nobody is talking about. This isn't just another Trump recording scandal. This is prosecutors potentially listening to Trump map out his own defense in real time. And we'll get to why that could collapse his entire legal strategy in a minute. Most people assume lawyer meetings are untouchable, but the law says otherwise if crimes are discussed, and that changes everything. Trump has been caught on tape before, and every time it's been devastating. In July 2021, at his Bedminster Golf Club, Trump discussed a classified military plan involving Iran. On tape, he said the document was secret and admitted he could no longer declassify it. That single sentence destroyed his public claim that everything was declassified. That Bedminster recording became a centerpiece of the classified documents indictment. Prosecutors used Trump's own voice to show knowledge, intent, and awareness. And although that case paused during his presidency, the evidence never disappeared. It's still waiting, and Trump knows it. Before that, there was the Michael Cohen tape in 2016. Cohen secretly recorded Trump discussing hush money payments to Karen McDougal. Trump asked whether cash should be used to bury the story before the election. That recording contradicted years of Trump denying involvement, and it helped cement Cohen's testimony as credible. So there's a pattern here. Every major legal crisis Trump faces includes his own recorded words. But this time is different and far more dangerous, because these new recordings allegedly come from meetings with his own lawyers. Not aides, not business partners, his defense team. According to legal analysts, these recordings show Trump in panic mode. He asks how serious the criminal exposure is. He reacts to evidence prosecutors already have. He discusses delaying cases and avoiding compliance. And most critically, he admits certain defenses are not true. That's the part that should stop everyone cold. If prosecutors have Trump admitting his public defenses are bogus, it's catastrophic. It shows consciousness of guilt. It shows awareness of wrongdoing. And while the media focuses on indictments, the real story is what Trump said when he thought nobody was listening. Normally, attorney-client privilege would shield all of this. It's one of the strongest protections in American law, but there's a powerful exception. It's called the crime fraud exception. If a client uses legal advice to commit or conceal crimes, privilege vanishes. That means conversations about obstruction, hiding evidence, or misleading investigators are not protected. They become evidence. They can be seized. They can be played in court. And that's exactly what prosecutors are arguing happened here. If judges agree, Trump's legal firewall collapses instantly. Lawyers can be subpoenaed, notes can be seized, recordings can be admitted, and Trump's own strategy sessions become the prosecution's roadmap. Think about what that means. Prosecutors wouldn't just know what Trump did. They'd know how he planned to defend it. They'd know his fears, weaknesses, and pressure points. It's like playing chess while your opponent reads your next 10 moves. Most people think Trump's biggest threat is political opponents. But the data shows his real threat is evidence. And evidence doesn't care about polls. Evidence doesn't care about rallies. And evidence doesn't forget. Sources say Trump has been raging behind closed doors, demanding to know who leaked the recordings, demanding to know who flipped. Because recordings like this don't appear by accident. Someone inside his circle cooperated. That could be a lawyer. It could be an aide. It could be someone with access to internal files. But it means one thing for certain. Trump can't trust his own team. For someone obsessed with loyalty, that's a nightmare scenario. Every meeting becomes a risk. Every conversation feels dangerous. And that paranoia makes mounting a defense nearly impossible, because lawyers can't help if clients won't speak freely. And here's the contrarian reality. Trump's talkativeness isn't confidence, it's compulsion. He believes he can always explain his way out. But recordings don't argue back. They just play. Prosecutors like Jack Smith appear to have anticipated this. The classified documents indictment included unusually specific details, dates, quotes, sequences of events, details that suggest deep insight into Trump's internal thinking. That level of detail doesn't come from guesswork. It comes from witnesses, documents, and possibly recordings, which explains why Trump's reactions have grown more frantic over time. And this isn't just about current cases. These recordings could trigger new charges entirely. Obstruction, witness tampering, conspiracy, each carries serious penalties. Even the presidency doesn't erase evidence. It only delays consequences. And prosecutors can wait. Statutes of limitations don't vanish overnight, especially for complex federal crimes. Trump's entire legal strategy now depends on delay. Delay trials, delay rulings, delay accountability. But delay doesn't change what's on tape. It just postpones the moment it's played. And here's the uncomfortable truth most supporters avoid. Innocent people don't panic about recordings. They don't fear their own words. They don't rage about leaks unless those leaks are damning. Trump's reactions tell the story better than any pundit. He knows what's on those tapes. He knows how it sounds. And he knows juries tend to believe voices over explanations. This is why these recordings matter long-term. They're durable evidence. They survive elections. They survive news cycles. And they wait patiently for their moment. So what happens next? Judges will rule on privilege challenges. Prosecutors will push to admit more material. And Trump's team will fight to keep it buried. But once privilege cracks, it rarely reseals. Watch for rapid legal motions. Watch for sealed hearings. Watch for sudden shifts in Trump's public messaging. Those are signs something significant is happening behind the scenes. Because while headlines focus on politics, the real clock is legal. And that clock is ticking. Evidence accumulates, witnesses cooperate, and recordings don't forget. Trump's biggest enemy isn't a prosecutor. It isn't a judge. It isn't the media. It's his own recorded voice, preserved, clear, unavoidable. He believed those meetings were safe. He believed privilege was absolute. He believed loyalty was guaranteed. All three assumptions may have been wrong, and that miscalculation could define his legacy. If these recordings are fully admitted, they change everything. They simplify cases, they shorten trials, they reduce defenses, and they speak directly to jurors. So as this unfolds, remember this moment. Not a rally, not a tweet, not a press conference, but a private room where Trump spoke freely, because those words may end up being the most important evidence of all. And once a jury hears them, there's no rewind button, no spin, no undo. Watch the courts closely in the next 48 hours.